There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another random DOS game show. And ERE Informatique presents Bankbuster. And graphics and storyboard are by Eurosoft, apparently. And we have a escaping convict mining through and presumably going off to rob some banks. Yes, there he is with some cash. Though why he's dressed as a convict and then immediately robbing a bank, I'm not sure. Did he literally escape and said, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not even going to get changed, I'm going to rob a bank? Do you want animation? Of course we want animation. Please enter your name. Lawnie. Okay, there is the bank. And there is our titular robber. And we are in Grand Paris, in Francais. That's French in French, not France. I think it's just France. Press any key to start. Oh my goodness. Right. So this is a Breakout clone, sort of. And it's running very, very quickly. That might just be a cycles count issue, or it might be a me issue. But you have to prevent this ball from going down the hole, and the ball represents you steadily mining your way through as the robber. It's a conceptual thing, like a lot of ERE Informatique games, and you are trying to mine your way through to get to the treasure, which looks like an old rusty bird cage of some sort. Yes, that's exactly what we want. So this is bank number 1. We have 4 balls left. And funnily enough, it's getting easier. Which you'd think it would get more difficult as time passes. But, oh, there we go. Lawnie curse. I've just messed up. Yeah, you have more leeway. You have more space for the ball to do its thing. Now, I'm not very good at Breakout games. So you'll forgive me. Oh, if I seem somewhat distracted, I'm just desperately trying to anticipate the movement of the ball, which is difficult because it keeps changing, of course, based on what it's bouncing off. And you can use the side of the paddle, the eyes underneath the paddle, but the paddle probably isn't very fond of being poked in the eye by a ball. I know that any time a ball has hit my eye, I'm not too fond of it. Also, the ball appears to change speed quite rapidly. Yes, that's right. And sometimes it clears things and other times it doesn't. And that's based on the roots of the trees underneath. So you look at those trees and it's like, yep, they're just going to bounce right off them. You can't destroy the entire environment. What's that game? I can't remember the name of it now. Red Faction Armageddon. This isn't Red Faction Armageddon. You can't just destroy everything. And that is the only time you will ever hear Bankbuster being compared to Red Faction. That's right. It's an apt comparison, with Red Faction being a third-person action game, and this being a paddle game. Yes, that makes a lot of sense, Lawnie. Ooh, I felt that in my soul. The PC speaker did a good job there representing how painful that was to deflect with the side of its eyes. And this was a sort of hallmark of ERE Informatique games. They would have like these odd graphical choices. And you could call them Eurojank or whatever, but this company made some very interesting games. And then, of course, a certain number of their employees would go on and create Cryo Interactive, who made a selection of very good DOS games. They were notorious, actually. They were a bit like me. They released a lot of stuff, but not all of it was good. So yeah, this is taking me a lot longer than expected. I could just leave it like that, infinite loop, but no. I shall venture forth and change the trajectory of the ball. And you're beginning to see my own personal limitations here. Right, there we go. We've cleared that bit. Can I? Yes. See, unlike a lot of Breakout clones, in this case, there's no way of putting the ball behind. Like, say if you play an Arkanoid game or, one of the others, the wall isn't right up at the back. There's a little space between the wall, and you can put the ball between the wall and the bottom of the level, or top of the level, rather. And then the ball will bounce back and forth and do all the work for you. In this, because of the enclosed sort of underground style of the level, you just have to patiently wait for the ball to, mine out a little bit of a thing. And it's more a sort of precision thing. You have to aim the shot correctly. This is tedious. I mean, I think that's the sort of gameplay that they were aiming at. The idea of being specific with your breakout shots in order to hit a small area. But personally, I don't find that fun. Because, as you can see, it can be a bit laborious. This whole zigzagging thing, I know there's probably a way of, straightening out the ball. Losing a life, that would do it. Right, come on. Nope. I've reached a point now where this is going to take a while. And I have to wait for the ball to come back down. There we go. That's what I wanted. Bit of progress. And we're back to the zigzagging. But again, that's my fault as well for not being very good at the old Breakout clones. Come on. I'm trying to force the issue here. Oh dear. That is not something you want to subject your ears to for very long. Oh. So, I think that's it. I mean, kudos to it for being smooth to play, I guess. But what is this, 1990 and we're using CGA graphics? Come on. You could have had an EGA version of this, surely. Yeah, I've had enough. I don't think I'm going to reach the bird cage, which is disappointing because that could have made it all worthwhile. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait some time. And you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there is a time limit. I might not even reach the bird cage by that time limit. And I don't want to play this too long to give people the wrong impression that this is some fantastic game instead of just being a Breakout knockoff that isn't as fun. And if you like me talking about random DOS games, I do it all the time. Feel free to take a look at the hundreds of other videos on the channel. If you like what you see there, you can always subscribe. And if you desperately want to know what's in the bird cage and are furious that Lawnie didn't find out, but are willing to forgive me, you might be one of my wonderful patrons or members. They put up with my terrible gaming skills because they like me as an individual. Wonderful folk. It's pretty unfortunate if you lose interest within the first level, but that's what's happened here. It's a concept, it's something a little different, but different isn't always good. And some of the great games in history are made off the backs of these kind of conceptual errors, because you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes. And this, while being successful at what it does, is not very fun to play. Until next time.